Hello?
Hey Chris, am I interrupting you at work?
I got a minute.
Alright, Dallas didn't call and didn't show today, so I just been sitting here all day trying to call him every few hours. I'm just calling you to make mention of it because that's how it is with almost literally everyone, and that's what's so frustrating, and that's why I
Oh,
have meltdowns. It's not just you, it's not just Dallas, and that's why I record the things and that's why I post them up.
copy.
People's assumptions, the situation versus what I'm going through aren't the same. And I really need people to speak up and take a look. And I'm trying not to freak out all the time. But the longer this happens, the more money it eats up. And I literally can't take care of myself because of this.
Yeah.
All right. I'll probably see you around 8, I guess.
Yeah, I'll probably be late, but I'm in Dallas.
Yes, sir. How far away is that? Like 40 minutes?
About, depending on how fast you drive, an hour to an hour and a half.
All right. Well, I guess
It's,
I'll...
it's over by Salem.
Oh my God, I hear they got witches there.
I mean, if you believe in witches.
Well, sort of. I believe in the origins. I just don't believe in all that hoopla Wicca crap.
Yeah, it's like 97 degrees out here.
Oh, so it's not too bad. Of course, it's humid, so it's hotter than that.
It's fucking hotter than fuck, dude. Thought I was gonna die.
Yeah, this car isn't feeling much better than that. It just cooled down enough that I'm not sweating like a pig.
Fucking, I'd go lay down in that tall ass grass.
Oh my God. Why do those guys have to do that? I mean, if their dick don't work, they can get Viagra. They don't have to make a big loud fucking truck to antagonize people with sensory processing issues. There's no need for it to be that loud. There's no purpose. Just to fucking be a dickhead. Alright, I'm done bitching.
I have one of the loudest trucks in town.
Yeah, and I don't own a pair of cowboy boots to turn your Audi into an innie for that.
Alright, well, I'll talk to you tonight.
Alright, thank you, Chris. Bye. I always tell somebody. People pretend that I don't try. I do try. And people pretend like if they don't take a look, there's no problem. No, there is a problem, or I wouldn't be trying to get help. You don't think it's a problem being stuck out here? You don't think it's a problem that I'm literally forced to break the law to try to get someone to look at the crimes that are committed against me? Meanwhile, these crimes are committed against me daily. It is every day that I am incapable of taking care of myself or defending myself against these people. Because of abuse that deprived me of my money, deprived me of my finances, deprived me of my safety and support, deprived me of the ability to go see my friends and family. Social isolation is hell. Those of you who didn't have to deal with it until COVID hit, and then you fucking turn into a bunch of goddamn sissies, start blowing your heads off at near record levels. Yeah, what's more dangerous? COVID or social isolation? And then, of course, the 988 line doesn't care about you as a person. That's who you're sent to when you need help. The problem here is that we can't go to the police without your help, without you actually caring. And you have to understand what's going on and what roadblocks are there and why. Sometimes the things that our predators do are evil and fucking vindictive and prevent us from being able to defend ourselves, from having access to things that you take for granted every fucking day. Every day you take for granted that you can set up your computer. Every day you take for granted that you grew up with that technology, with the money to hone that stuff, with the time to hone those skills, not constantly being run around like a chicken with your head cut off. We make time for what's important for us. When you guys make time for me, it's not time for me. It's time for you to talk over me. It's time for you to pretend to listen and then literally dismiss everything that I say over and over and over again. And I beg you to look at the evidence. Instead of dismissing me, you'll see how dismissive you've been and how harmful you being dismissive are or is. There are a lot of crimes that have been committed against me. And yes, I understand that, but when I first started going to you people for help, it wasn't that many crimes. It was just serious enough crimes and enough ongoing that it needed to fucking stop. And you just let these people do it to me. My disabilities don't exist because I'm a man. I should be able to do it myself. You're all pieces of shit. When you tell me that if it was a woman that you'd have done the same thing for her, no, you wouldn't have. With a woman, you'd have tried to help turn it in instead of making every excuse not to. Alright, it's just the people at the coffee shop fucking around. Yeah, that sound piques my ears every time. Babies crying piques my ears too. You know, here's one thing that I never understood about parents, especially a lot of the female parents that I know who are strung out on drugs. How is it that they think that screaming at a crying baby is going to calm down the situation? No, that's just going to freak out the baby, stupid. Babies are even easier to bully than adults, aren't they? But you can't bully them into stop from crying, can you? No, and they're that small. All they register is that you're screaming at them. How many girls fantasize about having a perfect wedding and a perfect baby and maybe even a couple of them and live in a nice rich mansion? Of course, what they end up with is getting drunk, having unprotected sex, and having a baby that shits and screams and eats, and shits and screams and eats, and shits and screams and eats. And sometimes sleeps, but not for very long, and usually at odd hours of the day. No wonder so many women put their babies in garbage cans. When the reality doesn't fit the expectation, you just throw away another human life. No biggie. Yeah, sure, you thought a baby was a good idea, and when it turned out that it poops and it screams, and not the way that your piss myself doll did back when you were a kid, learning how to be a mommy, being trained how to be a mommy with girly toys. So you didn't want to be a mommy, so you throw your baby in the garbage can because it won't stop screaming. And then the guy who got you pregnant, he's not going to show up to court. He's not going to defend you. He's disgusted by you. He doesn't want anything to do with you. You had this fantasy that you sold him about how you're going to have a baby and how wonderful it's going to be. How wonderful it's going to be parents. How long did these mothers last before realizing it wasn't what they wanted and just killing the baby? 3 days maximum. Most of these women kill their babies within 3 days of the baby being born. Most of the babies thrown into dumpsters are newborns. Newborns. The fantasy lasted until she had the baby, and then it was gone immediately. We have taught men that they have to give a woman what she wants, or it's his fault that he's getting bitched at. And then we teach women to want unrealistic things. Perfect life, perfect house, the perfect husband, the perfect marriage, the perfect wedding. It's got to all be perfect, doesn't it? It's got to be perfect for you. It's your day, isn't it? Your wedding day is supposed to be your day, isn't it? That's what you say, too. It's not you and your husband's day. It's your special day. And all you women know that. You know that that is your special day. For most men, when they find a woman worth keeping, they'll say she's worth marrying, or that they would marry her in a heartbeat, but at the same time, they all know it's not their choice, and they know it's not their day. All guys who get married know they're getting married with an expectation of a particular fantasy. Is that gunshots or somebody stomping their feet real hard? Anyway, trying to get heard is the most difficult part because men are not heard. Disabled people are not heard. It's too easy to blow us off. And then you feel justified in blowing us off because modern sexism has taught you it's okay to be sexist against men, to be racist against whites. That male victims must be predators. I'm disgusted by all of you. I'm disgusted by the sexism of Me Too. I'm disgusted by the racism of BLM and the KKK. BLM and the KKK have exactly the same enemy. Imagine that. Of course, BLM wants to make it a black and white issue. Really, take a look at the way that I've been treated. Take a look at the things that I have had to do because nobody cares when an officer puts his knee on the back of my neck or assaults me. No, they only care if it's a black person in a house. You're killing us by not caring, but you're expecting us to contribute. You're sending us to places that you know don't work. Did I expect Dallas to follow through on his word? No. Because so many times he hasn't. All it would have taken is one of those people who was there that night with Molly, going in with me to turn it in, and not a single one ever made the effort to do so. Not even one. No matter how much they promised. And that's always how it is for a man. If he's alone, he's stuck alone. If he's good looking, it might be different. If he's got money, it might be different. If he's not disabled, it might be different. All of my disability money goes somewhere else. Somewhere that it doesn't help me in the least bit. Why am I victimized for speaking out? Why am I victimized for trying to be heard? Why am I forced to act like my predators in the hopes that someone will listen? None of this should have ever been necessary. But you pieces of shit got my loved ones killed. By not caring, by looking the other way, by making any excuse as long as it's not happening to you. If I give you a tiny taste of what I go through, you flip your fucking wig. You're sick in the goddamn head, and you need mental help. There's a lot of people that wanted to make excuses. I give them a tiny taste of what I'm going through, and they're, I don't know how, goes right out the window. You shouldn't have fucking lied to me. On the bright side, I'm intelligent enough to fucking bust your dumb ass. My life is hell. And just because I'm able to power through things that you can't, doesn't mean that it's fucking enjoyable for me. You know what leads to suicide? The friends and family of the victim blowing the victim off. Treating the victim like shit. Letting the victim know that they're not important. The victim and stopping the abuse against them is not as important as getting drunk, is it? It's not as important as going out with the friends that you don't tell your secrets to. You want me to keep your secrets, even about the people that you hang out with, the people that are obviously more important than me. I have to accept that, right? Well, you need to accept it. I'm not going to be friends with you if you're friends with my abusers. If you weren't willing to look at both sides before being a piece of shit, well, you're going up as an example. And I'll give you a tiny taste of what I go through, and we'll see how you react. Do you react in the way that you told me to? The way that I reacted to begin with? Or do you start off screaming and shouting and hooting and hollering and name calling and the mentally ill, mentally ill, mentally ill? Go fuck yourselves. Shea Burton showed what a useless piece of shit she was, and that her nature hasn't changed since she was dating Theo. She knows how to manipulate, she knows she's a female, and she knows that's exactly how it works. Doesn't matter how good a person I am, I don't matter because I don't have the right equipment. I didn't make bad choices like getting drunk and fucking everything in sight. As a result, I have no children. I don't know a single responsible parent. The fact is, if they were responsible, there would be no parents. Who would want to bring a child into this world? Oh yes, people who are pampered. The people who actually reap the benefits of our labor and our sacrifice. We didn't ask for our entire lives to be sacrificed or to be victimized. You just have no respect for human life. That's how we end up with so many babies in the garbage can. Do men ever throw babies in the garbage can? Statistically, yes. After she has killed it. There was that boy in Texas a couple of years ago. He was underage and his girlfriend wasn't. Now, I don't know if he got busted putting the baby in the garbage can or if they found the baby in the garbage can and saw video footage of him putting the baby in there. But the thing is, he wasn't convicted of killing the baby, she was. He was convicted of disposing of the body. Here's another thing. Y'all have no idea how many rides I've made with women who wanted to be safe when they went to a custody exchange. More than once I went with Jamie and her son for custody exchanges in case it got violent or he started doing things he shouldn't do. I'm talking about Mark Cox. He never stood out of line. So far as I could tell from inside of the vehicle, which is where I stayed, because I was asked to. See, this is why men commit suicide. Because nobody cares. When we're bullied and we're harassed, nobody cares. When we're sent around in circles that eat up all of our money, you don't fucking care. See, running around in those circles does work when you have a friend or family member who cares, or if you're already in housing. When you're victimized by the local sheriff and then you get housing in that area, yeah, it's not going to do anything good because still nobody's going to do anything about the crimes committed against you. And moving to somewhere else isn't going to be any different because you're still broke and you're still fucking homeless and you're still autistic and you're still physically fucked up. And still nobody gives a shit. They want to make it a fucking pissing contest. Which is why I ask every day for assistance in getting assisted termination of life legal for people like me. Abuse is terminal. So is neglect. When you've already designated somebody as a violent retard, you should just put a bullet through our heads at that point. Because we're not going to be treated like human beings ever again. You care only enough to say pretty things and make empty promises. When it comes to actually keeping your word on those important promises, you don't think you should have to keep your word. You don't think you should have to keep your end of the bargain, no matter how much I kept mine. I'll be right back. I'm gonna go get myself something to drink. Screw it. There's some charge on my batteries. I can do something with it. 20% on here. I can work with that. I do make angry videos. Those are the ones that people hear. There's lots of really nice videos, but yeah, people try sending those nice videos to any of the people who were in them, or they were about. No, they didn't. It was when those people turned out to be complete and total fucking bullshitters and liars who didn't keep their word. I sang their praises, believing their bullshit, and they stabbed me in the back instead because their drug contacts were more important, same as here. And then, of course, people want to talk about their drugs and selling drugs and how they couldn't because of their drugs. And then they want to be angry when I show that and I post it up and they say, hey, that's not everybody's business. That's my personal business. No, it's not. See, the police said that I didn't try to get help. The fact that I did try to get help. There's evidence I tried to get help. And I said outright that it was druggies and alcoholics that I had to go to for help. And they're not reliable. And then you admit to being a drug dealer. All you did was prove my point. You're not going to come forward because you're afraid of your own sins. You don't give a holy shit about me. When I was forced to do desperate things elsewhere, it's just like here. People don't take it seriously. They blow me off and make sure that I am overwhelmed every time. Even if I pay them money, it's not enough. Even if I pay them money, it's going to go to drugs. They're going to go get drugs, they're going to get fucked up, they're going to pretend I don't exist after that, and then they're going to get angry because I spoke up about them wasting my time, stealing from me under false pretenses, taking advantage of me, knowing the situation I'm in. And then you pretend it's my fault because I had to trust someone because I'm not allowed to do it myself. And then over and over and over again, you pretend like I am allowed to do it myself. Like if you say right lies, then it makes it okay and somehow makes anything that you've done not wrong magically, somehow. No, it is wrong. If it's wrong for me to do it back, it's wrong for you to do it to begin with. I'm going to say that again for those of you in the back. If it's wrong for me to do it back, it's wrong for these people to do it to me to begin with. I'm going to say that one more time again. If it's wrong for me to do it back, then it is wrong for these people to do it to me to begin with. Wow, she completely missed the parking space. Oh, there's the guy that helped me get my boat. He's in a Honda that's spray painted black. He helped me wrap my boat. The one that's on my channel that I made. The one that was on top of my car for a while. I get that people don't like that I record in public, but I'm in public. I'm also a disabled and at-risk adult who is prone to being abused. No, it's not against the law for me to record. Keep saying something went wrong, please try again. We get given substandard equipment that doesn't work and makes everything impossible, and told that it's help. We're not taught how to use these things. Just, here you go. Here's a piece of shit that costs the American taxpayers 3 times what it would cost to get just a regular phone. $125 for the flip phone I got. $125 for that piece of shit. That's what you guys paid for it, plus the service. Whereas for me, I pay $75 a month for my service, and that's pretty cheap.
Before humans ever discovered media, that THC
Now I'm hoping that Dallas gets here shortly, but I don't hold any faith in it. Just hopes. Chris, I don't have any faith in him, just hopes. Just like with everybody else. But you know what? Eventually I lose hope that they're ever even going to listen. How can they help me if they're too busy talking over me and talking down at me and telling me how to think and how to feel, and that it's a matter of perception? No, it's not. When somebody punches you in the face, they punched you in the face. No matter how you perceive it, the actual action is actually you getting punched in the face. Oh, well, you only feel pain if you want to feel pain. Really? That is not how it works. That's why torture is so effective. The thing about torture is that you can get people to say anything that you want them to say. It doesn't have to be true. You just hurt them until they tell you what you want to hear. And then it's good enough. If you torture them into saying that they're guilty, then that justifies your crimes, doesn't it? Wow, everybody's got black Hondas today. I think that's the 3rd spray painted black Honda I saw today.
Really?
Yep. Do what? Right? Well, one of them was Amanda. She's got a Honda Civic hatchback, a year older than mine.
Yeah.
Yep. Hey, by the way, thank you very much for helping me wrap that boat.
Yeah, no problem.
That was really cool, and a lot of people liked it.
Yeah.
Who was the other guy that was helping?
What's this? I don't remember.
Oh, it was really cool.
Yeah. Did you take it out on the water?
I did.
Yeah.
Yeah, within about 10 minutes of that, I just built the pontoons and put it on. I got it on video and everything.
Nice.
Hell yeah.
Hell yeah.
I want to make it for my feet.
Do what?
I want to make it for my feet. Like,
A kayak for your feet?
uh-huh.
So you can walk on water like the Jesus?
Well, yeah, but so I can go fishing.
You know, you might be able to get a pair of bib overalls and one of them, the tire tubes.
Right?
Just sink yourself in the center.
Yeah.
Good work.
Oh, thank you very much for the help, by the way. I noticed you got tires.
Yeah.
That is way better than sliced again. Now you got spares.
Yeah, because I've been running on donuts.
Oh God, those are donuts.
The two on the front are really donuts.
The one on the back's a spare, but it's a blank spare, just like a donut.
Yeah.
Yeah. When I say I like these people, I do mean that I like them. A lot of these addicts, yes, I get that they're addicts, and many of them done very fucked up things to me. But I can't help but see a human being in there somewhere. Also, I've been in environments, worked in environments, and helped create environments where people like that can recover. But that's the thing, is that they have to have the right environment for recovery. Patience and understanding is key. When you scream at them and yell at them and tell them what fuck-ups they are all the time, and you're always looking for some excuse to put your nose down at them. Look down your nose at them like they're something less than human. And tell them about all the things that they've done wrong and punish them for every mistake, even if some of those mistakes were yours. Now, there's one thing I repeat often on my channel that I stole from somebody else. I said what I said. And that's very much how it is. For me, I know that my words don't come together right. I know that on my channel, that not everything comes out perfectly. But I said what I said. There's also a lot of things that don't come together right. The more antagonized that I am, the more people are assholes to me, the more overwhelmed that I end up getting, the more you become assholes. The more you try to pounce on somebody who, well, how dare a male ever try to get help? What a horrible person he is for trying to get help. Meanwhile, every one of you females taught from birth what to do in an abusive situation. So when you tell a man you don't know what to do, you're a lying piece of shit. I'm going to repeat that again. All women in the United States are trained from birth what they're supposed to do when abused. There is literally not a girl in America that doesn't know what she's supposed to do. So when she tells you that she doesn't know how to help, she doesn't know what to do, and she doesn't understand what speaking up is, she's playing fucking retarded and she is playing you. Kick her to the fucking curb immediately. A lot of these drug addicts who want to be pissed off at me because I recorded them admitting to being drug addicts, they're angry at me about it. And you know what? They're allowed to be angry. They can be as angry as they fucking want. It doesn't make me wrong. It doesn't make me a bad person just because you're pissed off that I told your fucking secrets. And the reality is you told your secrets. What I did was pay attention. I pay attention to your excuses for not coming forward, for not telling the truth, for not listening. I record your excuses for talking non-stop or for making suggestions that I'm not capable of doing right after I've explained to you why I'm not capable of doing it, because you won't keep pushing it like crack. But you still keep pushing it like crack, don't you? Showing fully that you weren't listening. I'm used to people not coming through and not keeping their word and talking over me and treating me like I'm retarded and then telling me how smart I am and then going right back to treating me like I'm retarded. You know, when you treat me like I'm retarded and then you say that I'm intelligent, you're insulting my intelligence. You're also insulting retards. So you're insulting a lot of people all at once. Meanwhile, who do I consider retarded? Do I consider autistic people retarded? No. Do I consider people with Down syndrome retarded? No. Do I consider people with cerebral palsy retarded? No. I consider people who treat people with Down syndrome like they're retarded to be retarded. I consider people who treat someone with cerebral palsy like they're retarded to be retarded. I consider someone who treats an autistic person like they're retarded to be retarded. Neurotypicals tend to be retarded. People with Down syndrome are not neurotypical. People with autism are not neurotypical. And people with cerebral palsy could be neurotypical and maybe not. Cerebral palsy doesn't pick and choose based on whether or not you have autism. People don't like being recorded. Well, I don't like recording them. I'd like to believe that they're honest. I record because people are dishonest. They'll make any excuse, but they won't come forward about it, and that leaves the victim getting kicked in the dick. When you're raped and you go to all your friends and family for help, and they don't do jack shit and you're raped repeatedly, and then the cops arrest you for trying to turn in your rapist. Oh, you must be a bad person because the cops didn't like you. Well, if you're homeless, they're not gonna like you. If you're a male, they're not gonna like you. Disabled homeless men are treated horribly enough as is. It's even worse when you have disabilities, and I have both mental and physical disabilities. My mental disability is PTSD. My physical disabilities are numerous. Autism is not my disability. Your assumptions of autism and how you treat people with autism because of your assumptions. That is my disability. That is what creates PTSD. That is what creates an environment where a person is repeatedly abused, repeatedly raped, repeatedly beaten. Because you repeatedly do not give a shit. See what time it is. 6:09. I'm gonna head over and get a soda pop out of the soda machine. I was gonna do that earlier, but I got to talking. It happens. Dallas isn't gonna come through. The last 4 times he said he was gonna, he didn't. Well, the last 3 times before this, plus this time, so 4 times altogether. Maybe 5. Sat down and counted it about a week and a half ago, how many times Dallas had not come through. And I don't hate him for it. I don't. I hate that he did it. I hated that he was a no-call, no-show, and I still hate that. The least you can do is let somebody know. There's a lot of people who say they're gonna, and then you get the last-minute excuses because they just don't feel like it. They don't stop to register in their head that you're dependent on them. Don't take up the responsibility if you're not willing to take on the responsibility. With great power comes great responsibility, and I do not have great power, but I do have a voice that I can use. Just that it's not heard. You don't share my voice. You don't share my evidence. You don't share the truth. Most of you come to my channel because you heard a bunch of slander and a bunch of lies. There's a lot of people who have asked for me to send them stuff, but I still have no place to process it. The few times that I've had a place where I can sit down and process that information, I was able to sit down and process it. But there were very few places like that. I had my own place in Sydney, and I could not process the evidence there. There was no internet. Most of the time I was there, my computer was busted. I had to get it fixed through Nicole Peralta's office. She was one of my therapists from when before Natalie was killed and after. But Nicole Peralta wouldn't come forward. That's the thing, is that they want to make trying, but my public pretenders won't try anything. And I can't afford a real lawyer, and I can't get a real lawyer to do the job without a friend or family member who cares. That's pretty universal with the lawyers. Or they want money that I don't have. And most of the time, we never get that far. They don't stop to consider the literally thousands of crimes that have been committed against me. Many of them by people who claimed that they were going to help. Sold out. Alright, we'll try this one. Not code red. Alright. It's apparently got a Russian cherry flavor. And it's still hot as hell. Anyway, you know, I really am not okay with people telling me to mind my business after they've stuck their nose in my business. Whether you want to dip out or not, you were still a part of the story and still a part of the problem, and as a result, your name does not get to stay clean. Your name does not get to stay hidden. See, here's the thing, is that you all serve as examples of why disabled and at-risk adults are abused, why it happens so heavily and so prevalently, and why it is the numbers are so much higher than you're willing to admit. How many thousands of crimes have been committed against me since starting over a year before Natalie was killed? Thousands. Thousands of crimes that the police refused to document, refused to investigate, refused to do a goddamn thing for the real victim. Natalie Bollinger was never victimized by me. I was victimized by her and her friends and her family, and still am, because I am never allowed to clear my name. All of these people in Tillamook, even when they're nice to me, treat me like I'm a fucking retard. That includes Chris. That includes Dallas. Yeah, a lot of people think I'm funny as fuck, but what they don't stop to consider is that my life is a living fucking hell. They want me to be fucking happy and make jokes all the time? I have no fucking reason to. I have no real friends. I have nobody that cares. All these people are going to do is talk about themselves and their addictions and them beating people up and about how they don't have any fucking time for anything else. They're going to tell stories about how they were going to beat up somebody's dad at a fucking party. Go off on that for an hour, because that's what we do, isn't it? The only thing you want to hear about is how violent we are and how good of fighters we are and so on and so on. I don't give a shit how good a fighter you are. I'm sure I've had my ass kicked by somebody who's a better fighter than you. I'm sure I've had my ass kicked by people that are worse fighters than you. And I'm sure I can take another ass whooping. God damn it. I just hate doing it. For an autistic person, you have to put in place preventative measures or they are going to be fucking victimized. Not they might. Absolutely they will. The fact that I'm autistic and I'm treated like a druggie and I have to go to druggies for help. Druggies who want to tell me if they're going through the same things in the same boat, but then again, they're going through it because they can't stay off the fucking drugs. See, unlike them selfish twits, I'm not this way because of drug use. I'm this way because of long-term abuse and neglect.